there, Hannah. I just wanted to tell you that I got your wedding invitation in the mail today. So, you're finally gonna have your wedding, huh? You've been waiting for a long time for this. Yeah, well, when you-know-what started going around, the world kind of collapsed around us. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see what dress you'll wear. Are you and Scott gonna coordinate outfits? Knowing my brother, I doubt he'd agree to that, though. Actually, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today. Let me be frank, Hannah. You need to call off this wedding. What? You've got just two choices. Either cancel it or move it to a different date. The date that's listed on this invitation is just not going to work for me and Scott at all. You want me to call off my wedding? But why? As for moving the date, that wedding venue is crazy popular these days. I considered myself lucky to be able to get my reservation in at all. There's no way we'll be able to reschedule. So, yeah, I don't know what you want me to do here. You'll have to find some way to make it work, Hannah. That date is really, really unlucky. Something bad's gonna happen, I'm sure of it. You can trust me on that. I'm practically a professional fortune teller. Since when have you been a fortune teller? Since last year. I started watching some videos on the internet from a bunch of super professional fortune tellers. I basically know all the most common methods. I am really good at doing tarot card readings, if I may say so myself. And when I did a tarot card reading about your wedding, I almost fell out of my chair. The date you picked is literally the worst possible date that you could have. So consider this helpful advice from someone who cares a lot about you, Hannah. You have to change the date. Could you be a bit more specific? Why do you think that date is so unlucky? The cards told me that you're going to lose something very important on that date. Don't you get it? That obviously means that if you go forward with your wedding plans, it's going to be a total disaster. Well, I really appreciate your concern, Mila. I really do. And I'll definitely take it into consideration, but I just can't change the wedding date. Don't worry, I'll put some 4-leaf clovers and rabbit's feet into the decorations. Would that help? So, can I count on you guys coming to the wedding then? I don't believe you, Hannah. You're just going to completely blow off my warning like that? I'm 100% sure I read the cards right. You're going to lose something important that day. I understand that, Mila. I totally believe that you're being serious, and again, I appreciate your concern. Tell you what, I'll let the wedding planners know what you told me and have them take every possible safety measure on that day. Would that make you happy? You're not really going to tell them, are you? You don't believe my fortune telling at all. But you have to believe me. I followed all the instructions in the video I watched on tarot readings. There is no possible way I'm mistaken about this. It's a sure thing. Oh, and apparently the fortune teller whose video I watched is the personal fortune teller for a bunch of celebrities and politicians. She's famous in the industry. Wow, well, that's really incredible. I'll bet she makes a bunch of money doing that, too. If you don't mind me asking, how did you come across these videos of hers? I searched for how to read tarot cards. Her video was the top result. I'm thinking about opening up my very own fortune-telling shop. How would you like to be my first customer? I can help you figure out the very best date possible to have your wedding on. And if you act now, I'll do it for the low, low price of just $1,000. $1,000? That's an awful lot of money, Mila. Oh, don't be silly. That's a bargain to get access to someone as skilled in the mystical arts as me. That price reflects a family and friends discount. Remember the old expression, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So, would you like to pay by credit card or cash? It's kind of a pain, but I would also be willing to accept a personal check. I can start my reading just as soon as you make your payment. Thanks for the offer, Mila, but I think I'll pass. That really is an awful lot of money, and with the wedding coming up, we really don't have much extra money these days. I'm sorry, maybe I can have you do a reading for me another time? Are you joking, Hannah? You're gonna turn down mystical knowledge of the future over a lousy $1,000? I can give you the best possible date for your wedding. That's worth way more than $1,000. You're out of your mind. But Mila, $1,000 is simply too much for a fortune telling. Nonsense. Both you and your fiance work, right? And I have seen the car you drive. You're not hurting for money. You shouldn't have any problems scrounging together a measly $1,000. I mean, sure, I can put that much together, but I don't want to. I'm sorry, Mila, but there is no way I'm going to change the date for our wedding, and that's final. Again, I appreciate how concerned you are about my wedding, and I hope we can see you there. You're a real cheapskate, aren't you, Hannah? I'm offering to give you the perfect wedding date through the secret knowledge of the universe over here. I guess I was wrong about you. Maybe you are just some impoverished loser. Hey now! I thought that you'd have no trouble shelling out that much. I am so disappointed in you. Oh well, the secrets of the universe don't come cheap, and you apparently can't afford them. I apologized for thinking that you had an open heart, mind, and wallet. You can forget about me ever offering to do my expert fortune telling for you in the future, too. Trust me, come the day of your wedding, when you lose that important thing I warned you about, you're going to regret turning me down today. Mila, please, calm down for a second. I had no idea you'd get so upset about this. I wasn't trying to insult you. I just don't want to spend that much money on a non-essential purchase right now. You're too late, Hannah. I already know exactly what you are. I can't wait to see what that important thing is that you're going to lose. Maybe it's going to be your job or your parents. Maybe you're going to lose your precious little fiance to another woman. Whatever it is, I hope it's really, really important to you. Then maybe you'll realize how stupid you were to refuse my generous offer.
Hey there, Hannah. Look, I'm really sorry to do this, but I'm not going to be able to come to your wedding after all. I just found out from my company the other day that they're going to be sending me to a branch office on the other side of the country that entire month.
Oh, really? Oh, that's too bad. But it's for your work, so I understand. Then I guess it's just going to be Mila that's coming to the wedding then, right?
No, she's not going either. Or rather, there's no way I'm going to let her go. The way she's acting right now, there's no telling what sort of havoc she would cause for you. I just can't take that risk. I'm not going to let my wife ruin my own little sister's wedding.
What do you mean?
It's a long story. In ordinary circumstances, I'd obviously love for her to go since I'm not going to be there either, but... Well, it is what it is. Sorry, Hannah, but you can mark both of us as being absent that day.
Does this by any chance have to do with her fortune-telling thing?
Wait, how did you know she's doing fortune-telling?
The thing is, yesterday she texted me telling that I needed to cancel my wedding. She said that she did some kind of tarot card reading and that the date we currently have scheduled is a super unlucky day or some nonsense.
Good grief. Well, looks like I was too late to stop her from interfering with your wedding then. I'm really sorry about that, Hannah. I don't know what's gotten into her, but the last few weeks she's been obsessed with all sorts of bizarre fortune-telling videos. I've tried to talk some sense into her, but nothing I say gets through.
Apparently she watched some videos from a celebrity fortune teller. Know anything about that?
Not much, but you might have seen her in various tabloids and celebrity gossip magazines. Her name's Madame Cleo.
Wait, that's who she was talking about? Holy cow, she said she was famous, but she wasn't kidding. I bet her videos get tons of views. It's no surprise they were the top result.
Yeah, but it's not just videos. She's been going to her fortune-telling seminars, too. Apparently, you can learn the secrets of the universe for $3,000 a session. And she's already been to 5 sessions.
Whoa.
It would be one thing if this were just a hobby. I mean, I'm not all that opposed to her believing in fortune-telling. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of cute the way she helps me pick out what color tie is going to help me succeed at my sales presentations and all that stuff.
Wow, you're letting her do your outfit coordination? Color me surprised. You never let me help you pick out your outfits.
And if she were paying for this out of her own savings, I would be much more understanding, but $15,000? No way! That's way too much! I wish I knew how to get through to her about this. Plus, none of her predictions end up coming true. You'd be better off betting on the opposite of whatever she tells you.
Yikes. Sorry about that, Scott.
She's gonna have to do something about that accuracy if she wants to succeed in her big project. Did she tell you about this? Apparently she wants to set up her own fortune-telling shop, too. It sounds like she's even managed to snag a few customers lately, too.
Wow, really?
Maybe this is just because she got bored with being a housewife for so long. I told her she could look for work if she wanted, but she said she didn't want to do any poor people jobs, as she refers to them. So she's setting up a temporary fortune-telling space in our living room and having her customers come to the house for readings. She charges $3,000 per session for fortune-tellings that never even come true. Needless to say, I haven't seen the same customer come back to her for a second reading.
Doesn't seem like she'll be able to keep her business open for very long, huh?
She's turned to going on social media to advertise for her services using what I bet are the same tactics she tried to use on you yesterday. I even saw her physically dragging one of her customers into our house the other day. The reason I told you I didn't want her to go to your wedding was because I was afraid that she'd try to turn your wedding into her own personal marketing opportunity. So, well, that's about it. I don't want Mila to ruin your wedding, Hannah.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it would be for the best if she didn't come.
I'll give you your present from us after I get back in town, so you can go ahead and tell the venue people that you don't need to put out any seats for either of us. Give my regards to your fiancé for me. Okay, I gotta get back to work. I'll talk to you later, Hannah.
Mila, what are you doing here? Scott said you weren't going to come. I wanted to see what sort of disaster the universe has prepared for you with my own 2 eyes. I've been wondering ever since that day what the important thing you're going to lose is. In any case, you're definitely going to regret not listening to me. Okay, well, next question. Why are you wearing that elaborate black veil? This is a wedding, not an occult funeral. I wouldn't be so sure of that if I were you, Hannah. Remember, you're going to lose something very important today. I just wanted to be prepared for any occasion, that's all. Are you kidding me? I'll have you know that I had a fortune-telling done by Madame Cleo herself just yesterday. And do you want to know what she told me? She told me that I should be prepared for a time of mourning. So I thought this would be the perfect attire for your special day. So you came to my wedding dressed like you're going to a funeral because of what a fortune teller told you? Look, if you really want to come, I can have a seat prepared for you, but you're gonna have to wear something more appropriate than that. Go and change. No, I think I'm fine dressed the way I am. Excuse me? You're going to lose something important today, and I need to be prepared to mourn, right? It's obvious that something's going to happen to someone at your wedding today, and this way we can transition straight to the funeral without having to change clothes. You're serious about this, aren't you? I'm dead serious, Hannah. And besides, what are you so worried about? If you couldn't even afford to pay me $1,000 for a fortune telling, there's no way your wedding is going to be anything special. There's nothing for me to ruin in the first place. So let's just sit back, relax, and watch your wedding collapse, shall we? I have never met anyone as selfish and heartless as you. I'm telling you to dress appropriately if you want to come to my wedding. Are you just going to ignore that and come dressed like you are anyway? If you do, I hope you're prepared for the consequences. How many times do I have to tell you? I am dressed appropriately for today. Who cares about some poor loser's wedding anyway? You're done for, Mila. Huh? I think you might have read those tarot cards backwards. You're the one who's going to lose something important, not me. Don't you know who's here at my wedding today? Take a look around, Mila. What are you talking about? Is there someone I should be afraid of seeing me or something? I'm talking about the man shooting daggers at you with his eyes right now. Your husband. What?
What's going on here, Mila? I was very clear to you when I told you not to come. And just what were you thinking coming here dressed like that? Have you gone completely insane?
Scott, is that you? But what are you doing here? I thought you were on the other side of the country for work.
I arranged for a few days off this weekend. After all, I couldn't live with myself if I missed my own little sister's wedding. I'll be heading straight from here to the airport after the wedding is finished, though. But it's more than worth the cost of the plane tickets and the jet lag I'll be feeling tomorrow to be here and celebrate with my family.
Oh, I had no idea.
Now let's hear that explanation from you, Mila. Why did you come to Hannah's wedding when I explicitly told you not to come? Not only that, you came here dressed like something out of a medieval witch's funeral. And what's this I hear about you calling my sister a poor loser?
Let's just calm down for a second, okay, Scott? Everything is going to make perfect sense very soon. The universe told me that Hannah's wedding is going to end in disaster. It's great that you're here. You can watch it all go down with me.
Again with that fortune-telling nonsense? I can't deal with your nonsense right now. Go back to the house immediately. And once you get there, sign the divorce papers on the table.
Scott, no, you can't mean that.
I've had all I can take. Your obsession with fortune-telling has caused so much trouble. And not just to me, but to every single person around you.
Don't be ridiculous. I haven't caused trouble for anyone. All I'm doing is helping to guide people towards happiness. That's why I started doing fortune-telling in the first place.
And when you drained our savings account in order to attend all those stupid seminars, was that all to guide me toward happiness too? Don't think I haven't noticed how much you've been spending on this, Mila. I went to the bank and got a detailed list of all our transactions. I think you can imagine the surprise when I saw all the withdrawals you've been making. And they were all for the same amount, $3,000, exactly how much that seminar costs.
Wait, let me explain.
Sorry, Mila, but your fortune-telling isn't making me very happy at all. If anything, I've been getting less and less happy every day for quite some time now. I can't take it anymore, Mila. I want to get divorced.
No, please, you can't do this. I don't want to divorce you, Scott.
Maybe if you were a bit better at fortune-telling, you might have seen this coming and been able to avoid it. In any case, you need to get out of here, now. We'll talk about the details of our divorce later.
How could you do this to me? Now I'm gonna get divorced for sure. Scott's sitting at our kitchen table right now demanding I sign a stack of divorce papers right away. Ah, so that's why he left the building just as soon as the reception was finished. Scott must be pretty dead set on divorcing you, Mila. How ironic. You ended up being the one losing something important yesterday instead of me. I can't believe it. Why is this happening to me? You were the one who was supposed to lose something. How did I mess this up? I'm sure I did the tarot card reading correctly. How can I put this as gently as possible? Maybe it's because fortune-telling is all just a bunch of superstitious nonsense. Shut up! That's not true! Fortune-telling is real, and I am really good at it. I followed all of Madame Cleo's instructions to a T. I even watched the video while I was doing it. I even took private lessons from her in person. I paid good money for those lessons, too. There's no way I was mistaken. I did everything right. My fortune-telling should have worked. Don't you think it's a bit weird that your fortune-telling and Madame Cleo's fortune-telling had the exact opposite results? What do you mean? I don't get it. How were our results the exact opposite? When you did your tarot card reading, you thought that my wedding day would be unlucky for me and that I would lose something very important. But when Madame Cleo told your fortune to you, she said that you should prepare for a time of mourning, right? I don't need any advice from a novice like you. I know what I'm doing. Need I remind you that I received training directly from Madame Cleo herself? I know exactly what I'm doing, which is why I know for a fact that I did everything right. I am 100% positive that Madame Cleo would never lead me astray. Well, if you'd like another reason, you could have asked her directly when you were at my wedding. After all, the real Madame Cleo was one of my guests today. Me and her were actually classmates in high school. We used to hang out all the time. What? Madame Cleo was there? You might not have recognized her without the makeup and costume she usually wears when she's on the job. She was dressed like a completely normal person today, which is rare for her. I guess it doesn't surprise me that you didn't recognize her when I think about it. Hold on just 1 second, Hannah. You are really old friends with Madame Cleo? The Madame Cleo? And the real Madame Cleo was really at your wedding today? For real? Yep, we actually first met when we were in middle school, but we never had any classes together until we were in high school. And there are a couple of things you should know about her, for the record. First off, she doesn't actually believe in any of that secrets of the universe stuff. She's more of what you might call a unique brand of therapist who uses information she already knows about a person to give them advice to lead them in the right direction. Second of all, and more importantly, she doesn't do seminars. Wait, what do you mean she doesn't do seminars? I went to her seminars myself. That wasn't her. Every once in a while, someone pops up in one town or another claiming to be her and offering a seminar for ridiculous prices. With the right makeup and costume, it really isn't too hard to trick someone into thinking you're the real thing. So those fake Madame Cleos typically end up fooling a lot of people. No! You mean the person who I paid all that money to wasn't even the real thing? Oh no, this is just the worst. I spent all that money for nothing. The person who told your fortune for you was the real thing, though, so there's that at least. Well, at least that money wasn't a complete waste. But wait a minute. You said she doesn't actually believe in fortune-telling? That doesn't make sense, though. She was right. She told me I should prepare for a time of mourning, and now I'm getting divorced. Like I told you, she uses information she already knows to give advice. I talked to her the other day about how obsessed you were with fortune-telling and everything. She said she was trying to scare you away from coming to the wedding. She thought that if she told you that going to the wedding would result in a bad outcome, that you'd stay away and maybe turn your life around. I thought she was talking about you. Why didn't she just give me a more straightforward warning? If she'd just given it to me straight, I probably would have heeded her advice. Well, she is running a business. People pay her good money for the experience of feeling like they've received some sort of mystical knowledge. If she broke character, it would ruin the whole experience, and she'd probably lose a lot of business she has. Oh no, what am I going to do? Well, she might not actually be a fortune teller, but she still gives really good advice, right? I'll just have to ask her how to make up with Scott. Can you talk to her for me? You're her friend, right? If you ask her to meet with me for a regular counseling session, she'll probably do it. I'll pay the normal price for her readings. If she wants, I'll pay double. I really need her help. About that, I actually have a message for you from Madame Cleo. She wanted me to tell you that you're never allowed in any of her businesses ever again. Also, she wanted me to remind you that the terms of her counseling session include NDAs. So if you tell anyone else about how she doesn't actually believe in fortune telling, then she'll sue you for all the business she loses because of it. What? She's threatening to sue me? I don't blame her after what she told me. For example, she told me that you've basically become a stalker and keep demanding that she hire you as an assistant. When she turned you down, you got furious and started claiming that you have a right to be her assistant after all the money you spent on her seminars. Which, of course, she has no idea about, seeing as how those weren't her seminars. Yeah, but I didn't know that at the time. And then the icing on top was how you went feral against her all over social media. Did you really hire a foreign bot network to like and retweet your negative posts about her? From the sound of things, you probably spent about as much on bots as you did on those fake seminars. And it was all a complete lie. Like, you claimed she stole your money, she's a fraud, she physically assaulted you, and a mess of other baseless accusations. You do realize that what you did fulfills the legal standard for liable, right? She's talking with her lawyer about that right now. No, that's impossible. How does she know it was me? I never used my own account. I made about 10 different burner accounts. There's no way they could all be traced back to me. Apparently there is a way, because she had hard evidence that it was actually you. So, how many things have you lost so far today? You've lost your husband, your money, your reputation among your friends and family members. But I'd still say you shouldn't get too down and out about all of this. I'm sure you have what it takes to come out on the other end okay, Mila. You do? Of course, you've been studying hard to become a professional fortune teller, haven't you? All you need to do is focus all your spiritual energy onto channeling the mystic knowledge of the universe. And then, when you finally get your answer and know what you need to do, then do the exact opposite. And with that, I'm out. Bye-bye, Mila. Mila and my brother got divorced a short while later. The judge took Mila's financial irresponsibility into account when determining the division of assets, resulting in her receiving absolutely nothing. No alimony, no property. She ended up moving back in with her parents. I heard that recently she's trying to get her fortune-telling business back up and running using her parents' guest room as a studio. She still vastly overestimates her skills and still has her price set firmly at $3,000 per reading. Word spread about her, though, so she hasn't landed a single customer yet. She has succeeded, though, in infuriating her parents. So much so that they told her if she didn't knock off her fortune-telling nonsense, they would kick her out of the house. I guess the neighbors didn't think too fondly of the occult-looking signs she had posted in their front yard. I've got to give her points for determination, though, because she decided she'd rather live on her own than quit her fortune-telling. I hear that she's currently trying her hand at setting up a stall on the sidewalk downtown and advertising her services to people walking by. She's made quite a name for herself, as her customers have been kind enough to spread the word on social media that if you do the exact opposite of what she tells you, things will probably turn out well for you. It's actually kind of impressive. I don't know of anyone as talented as she is at getting things exactly wrong 100% of the time.